guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Weston Boucher. I'm a professional model, and today I'm going to show you an entire day of eating. What I do from breakfast to dinner, and a little bit of my macro breakdown and how I track my calories. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Before we get too far along, I want to say I need you guys to subscribe because I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos related to health and fitness. So if this is in your lane and you're kind of excited about hearing about these topics, I'm going to do a lot more training and diet related stuff because of my upcoming ebooks, the year-round six-pack, how I train, and the year-round six-pack, what I eat, are going to be coming out on the 28th. And if you're watching this now, it might already be out. All the links are in the description below if you want to check that out. And I also have a free product for you called How to Eat, Train, and Supplement Like a Cover Model. Just click the link in the description below and it's going to send you right to a page and be able to download that PDF and kind of get the overall concepts of how I train and what I eat all year, and why I do what I do as a lifestyle change versus an extreme diet. So without further ado, let's get started on my breakfast. Okay, so this meal is going to have ingredients that are pulled directly from my ebook, the year-round six-pack, What I Eat. I kind of have staple foods that I go to all year to maintain six-pack definition for work and whatnot. But let's get started on what is on the plate here. So this is a scramble with grilled asparagus mixed in. This morning I decided to include some yolks because I didn't have any avocado, so that is going to help me have my healthy fats in there. And in addition, I also did a tablespoon of this nuts and more high protein peanut butter, and in here are steel cut oats with chopped up apples. So those are going to be my carb and muscle fuel energy for my workout later. And to add some flavor to this, because I know it looks a little bland, you can't go wrong with a classic sriracha. Always have a plethora of hot sauces on hand. Okay, so the next thing I do, or I shouldn't say next thing, I already entered in all these foods into my favorite app for tracking macros and calories, which is MyFitnessPal. It's totally free, 100% recommend that you start doing this to just get an idea, especially of how much you're taking in. You'd be pretty surprised in terms of how much you might be over or under in different categories, whether it's your macros or your overall calorie intake. So let's take a look at this breakdown really quick, and I'll bring it up on the screen here. All right, so I have the entire meal broken down. You can see my overall calories at the moment. This is what I'm targeting because at this point in the year in December, it's harder when I'm having a lot of extra food. So I have my carbs a little lower than I normally would. But you can see that it pops in everything for you, and you just keep adding down here as you have each meal during the day. And when you tap on here, it's awesome because then you can see how many things you need to hit still in terms of your carbs, fats, and proteins to get where you want to be by the end of the day. Oh, and I forgot to mention about these oats. There's actually chia seeds in here that have a plethora of health benefits as well, and they are a healthy fat. I also put a half a scoop of whey protein isolate, which added some flavor and some extra protein. All right, so I just got back from a workout and I'm starving, and I'm gonna have one of my favorite lunch meals, which is a burrito and 2 tacos. Or I should say 2 tostadas because I cracked my taco shell, so that's not gonna work, but they are the same macros and everything. I'm gonna show you right now how I weigh my protein and make sure that I'm gonna hit my macros for MyFitnessPal. So take a look at this really quick. All right, so I just have a basic food scale. This is a super cheap one, but I highly recommend it. What you do is you zero out the plate, so that doesn't count, by just having the plate on there before you turn it on. Then you press this to get it to ounces. I'm gonna go with 6 ounces. That's gonna give me a solid amount of protein. And you just scoop it on there until you get to the number that you need to be at based on your specific macros that MyFitnessPal, or you decide to do through If It Fits Your Macros, which is iifym.com if you want to try that out. So now that I got the protein dialed, it's time to enter in the carbs, which are going to come from these amazing tortillas that are super low carb by La Tortilla Factory. So MyFitnessPal, I'm going to scan in the UPC label, and that's going to put in everything. And then that's perfect timing because the other tostadas I'm going to have are done now. And these are only 6 grams of carbs each. All right, so just getting these prepped, one of the best things to do, in my opinion, is to have a sour cream alternative, such as a Greek yogurt. Non-fat plain is awesome. Look at this 22 grams of protein. Amazing. And the sugars are only 6. You gotta really look for that on yogurts, they'll get you. But anyways, I put a pretty hefty tablespoon on each of these. I'm gonna spread that around, and that's gonna act like kind of holds everything together when I put kind of the loose ground turkey on that. And then from there, I'm gonna add my favorite hot sauce, Green Dragon hot sauce from Trader Joe's. Or find one that you really love. This is so essential, like I said, for every meal to add a lot of flavor. There we go, we're almost ready. So I had some leftover roasted red peppers from a meal the other night. I had some flank steak. And in addition, I'm gonna sprinkle on some chopped onions. Onions pack a punch for flavor. Wrap this burrito really quick. This isn't the best way to do it with one hand, and I'm rolling it wrong, but it's gonna work. And there you go. You get burritos and tostadas for lunch. Okay, so let's take a look at the lunch breakdown. I scanned the barcodes, and once you scan them in once, which is cool, is that they stay in there, and if you have frequently, foods that you eat frequently, so you don't have to keep entering them in, which is nice. So if you break it down, it looks like it's around 386 calories. It's very high protein, 51%, because the protein goal is one of the hardest ones to get as part of like the way I eat, and I think that it's just something you get acclimated to, but it really helps with the muscle density. So yeah, those are all in there, and it's what's awesome is I still have a pretty good amount of carbs left for the remainder of the day for dinner and snacking later, which I tend to eat more at night, so I like to save my carbs for later. So I know that if you're not totally used to, weighing your food or counting macros, it might seem like something you don't want to do. Like, I don't want to live like that, I don't want to eat like that, I want to eat what I want. It becomes really easy and really quick over time. It's really not that bad. And the thing is if you do this, you can work in all the things you want to eat as long as you stay within your numbers. If you want to have different types of food that really aren't this clean, that's up to you as well. And the thing is, if you eat like this Monday through Friday, and you get to your target weight, it opens up the weekend to kind of cut loose to some degree. Like, I eat a lot of what I want on the weekends, and I'm not hating life. I love food. I love just flavor and all sorts of stuff, and I do eat junk food on the weekends. So remember that it's not just like you're super strict all the time. It's just you got to get to your target aesthetic or weight, and then you pull back to kind of a more normal thing once you can incorporate other foods you love. By the way, if you're curious about this scale, it's actually only 20 bucks, and it works so well, and it's better than a lot of the scales out there that cost so much more. You can find that link in the description as well to that exact scale on my Amazon shop. And you might have noticed the Sprite Zero on the side. So I get sugar cravings just like anybody, especially when you're eating clean a lot and you have low sugar. This just kind of helps with those cravings and curbs it. You can obviously go for something that doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. You just want something that has like LaCroix, where it's just an essence of a flavor and you get that carbonation and maybe a little bit of flavor. But yeah, these types of things really help when you're trying to get to your target weight and you're not used to the diet, because you're going to get sugar cravings. So you got to find a way to balance. Might not be perfect, but it's going to help. So all of this video is basically what I eat all day. I obviously can't neglect to mention all the awesome supplements that I take so I can recover faster and be able to train more often, be less sore. So if you want to check out all the things I take, because it would be a whole other video in itself. I do have a video on my page I'll show a link to in the description, but I'm also gonna just do a little pan, and you can also check out the link for my Amazon shop. I have all of these supplements listed in there as well. You can't neglect glutamine, especially. It's just such a great supplement for recovery. All right, so it's almost dinner time, but not quite there, but I'm super hungry and I'm getting borderline hangry. I'm about to head to the grocery store to get some other items to make the last meal of the day, but before I do, pulling out some leftovers of some spaghetti squash that me and Katie made. And this is an awesome food because it's voluminous, so it's pretty satiating considering that it's such a big portion, but it's really low cal and high protein because there's lean ground turkey mixed in with it. And the spaghetti sauce is basically just tomato sauce that we made our own sauce out of. So it's low fat and there's not much to it, but there's a lot of flavor because we had a lot of spices. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys this macro breakdown in a second. Okay, so here's the breakdown. Pretty balanced actually. with the carbs, fats, protein, and very low cal, very filling. All right, it's finally dinner time, and I'm pretty excited because I don't always make this type of meal, but I figured it would inspire you guys in the sense that you're not gonna just make really, really boring stuff to eat every day to stay in shape. That there's fun to be had when it comes to eating, and I will show you why. Right there. Thin crust wheat pizza from Trader Joe's. So I'll be able to eat, I think, 2 to 3 small pieces of that. And then I'm combining it with some grilled, actually pan cooked chicken breast that I made. So I would hit my macros for protein at 4.5 ounces, what I need left for the additional 39 grams of protein. I'll show you in a second on the macro breakdown. All right, so when you're gonna make a pizza, even if it's healthy, you still gotta realize that it's not really the best option when it comes to getting a really balanced meal and to get your macros on point. So this is just to show you you can be clever and it doesn't have to be so boring. But you can see it's really high in carbs in comparison to all the other meals for today. Another thing about MyFitnessPal you gotta be careful of too is don't pay attention to calories, pay attention to your macros, because how many carbs, fats, and proteins you're getting for your overall day, because it's just not accurate when it comes down to it, because it still says I have 23 carbs I can have, but I can only have 48 calories, and that would definitely equate to more than 48. So try to just look at it from the macronutrients when you tap on it and it shows you what you have left. So at this point, I've hit my protein goal, which is awesome, but I can still have 23 carbs for a little bit of snacks. So I'm likely just gonna have a little bit of Golden Graham cereal because I friggin' love it, and that's gonna knock it out for the rest of the day. And I have about 7 grams of fat, so it's gonna be really close on that. So I'm gonna scroll down again to go to what was the chicken breast, just to show you that. So that's 180 calories, but 39 grams of carbs. So that's how I made the pizza meal work, was by adding the protein I needed, because it really lacked on the protein end in comparison to what I actually needed. So it looks like I got lucky because I was just about to measure out my final snack for the night while I watch TV, which is the Golden Grams, and I looked at the nutrition facts and it says that the carbs for 1 serving is 25 and I need 24, so I'm pretty much right there. So this is what I do when it comes to getting the snack prep for the macros. So I get this tiny little cup, plastic cup, and I turn it on with it on there, so it puts me right at 0. And then I look at this, and it says, let's see, it says, sorry, like 30 grams for the serving size. So I just need to fill this until it says 30 grams. Let's see what we get. So right now I need to change it to grams, so I'm at 13 grams, 30 grams, 29. So I pretty much want to be at 29 because it says 25 carbs, I want a 24, so. In addition, I have a glass of red wine. It's factored into those macros that I showed you as well to top off the night. So you can have alcohol, but I recommend red wine. It's easily processed by the body. It doesn't seem to bloat very much, at least for me. And it's very low carb, low sugar. So here is my dinner meal. So this pizza, again, is a wheat crust, raw dough from Trader Joe's. And spread it out real thin on a pan. And then the pepperoni did exactly the amount for 1 serving on each side of the pizza. Just sprinkled some spinach leaves, had the tomato sauce from Trader Joe's, which was also low calorie. Put a couple of really small tomatoes on, sprinkled some onions, and the cheese was actually light as well. And you can do a fat-free mozzarella if you really want to get the fat super low. But I like sprinkling in some 4-cheese mix blend just for real flavor, and just do it light because it tastes great, but it's really high calorie. Okay, so as you can see, I hit my macros pretty well. They don't need to be perfect, remember that. So everything's a little bit fudged when it comes to data that they have. So I actually went a little over on protein, which is totally fine. 1 gram under on carbs, give or take, and fats about 6. But that's pretty close. All right, guys, so that wraps up a full day of eating in my life. I, can go super strict if I really want to, and I want to really lean out for a shoot. I'm just gonna do a lot of the things that are in my ebook, the year-round six-pack, what I eat. That's going to get you to the shred zone, and that's going to get you really dialed in. This is where you can kind of play a little during the week, and it's really not going to throw you off because you're still hitting your macros ultimately. But some of these foods are obviously going to bloat you a little bit, such as cheese because it's dairy, and a couple processed things that you saw throughout the day that, you know, may or may not give you a little bit of bloat. So I wouldn't always recommend risking those if you have like some serious thing that you're preparing for. We want your body to be like really on point. But for the most part, if you're getting your training and you can get away with this, and you can, like I said, fudge a little bit on the weekends if you're really strict Monday through Friday. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching if you got this far, and please do leave comments below. I want to hear from you guys, any questions you might have about my diet. And yeah, don't forget to download that free download I mentioned, How to Eat, Train, and Supplement Like a Cover Model. That's going to be a PDF of everything I do for the overarching concepts of how I stay in shape all year. And what else? Yeah, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to have new videos, especially in the health and fitness realm, coming up with the release of my 2 ebooks. And yeah, I think that's it. So appreciate it, guys. See you next time.